and welcome back to SA Sports Show. Greg Anderson and Barry Curtin. It's been a good show.
Great show, mate.
Yeah,
you promised that at the start.
I do love getting the phone call from Maxwell saying Phil can't make it. You're in the chair, and I just look forward to it. I really do. And you meet some fantastic guests. So it's been a really good show. Yeah,
doing well on the sporting arena. That's what I like, and that's what a lot of people like.
Yeah.
They do, because they don't get to see these people. They're not
boxers, masters, umpiring.
A boundary umpire.
One of the best in the land, from South Australia. It's fantastic. Talk about a big weekend of footy though, and I know Matthew's up at he's got the Richmond-Brisbane games, but we've got four biggies. We've got the Bombers versus the Eagles.
Wow.
I know.
That's in Perth.
It's in Perth.
Yeah.
Bombers are getting some players back.
Yeah, I know
and Eagles are coming off a loss.
I know.
It feels a little bit
soft loss as well.
I know. I know.
An ordinary loss.
That was an ordinary loss.
I think they can be ordinary.
Yeah,
and the Bombers can be dynamic when they're going.
Oh, when they're up and running.
So this was not a cut and dried as
and they get 3 or 4 players back. Yeah. It reminds you a bit of the Bulldogs 3 years ago, when it was a Cinderella story. When they had that break, they all of a sudden got 3 or 4 players back, and that break was enough to whitewash.
Can they beat West Coast over there? That's the big question. It depends on how Essendon play, because Essendon have been a bit.
They're very inconsistent. They're probably just the most consistent of the bottom group. Where you got your Crows and your Power and perhaps Hawthorn. They were probably the most consistent of that group. But they've got some big players back in. And then we've got Collingwood Geelong. What about getting a ticket at that one? How hard?
I like Collingwood there.
Yeah.
Because I don't like Geelong, but I've said that all year.
Yeah.
That I'm not a big Geelong fan. I think they're not bad.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as good as what the
Have
latter
their big players
suggest.
really turned it on yet? Are they waiting for finals? Their big players.
Dangerfield is.
I reckon he's waiting.
Dangerfield's last.
I reckon they're waiting.
Might have won him a Brownlow.
He's chipped it up, hasn't he?
Might have won him a Brownlow.
Yeah.
I reckon he's had 3 BOGs in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Well, that's nearly going to win it for him.
I think he could win it for him, And he's the type of player who's going to be hard to stop.
But he wants that flag.
Yeah, he does.
He wants that flag, so...
and so does Gary Ablett.
Yeah.
Because he may retire if they win one.
Definitely.
And
you'd have to think so.
I just like Collingwood there because I think Geelong are dodgy. They're a bit iffy.
Well, they haven't shown the consistency that we're used to. They did early though, Barry. They were right at the top for a long time, and then they just fell away. So Richmond, Brisbane. What about Brisbane? I mean, that's a big game.
That is massive.
Yeah,
that is massive. That's probably the game of the round.
I think so.
And
I'm waiting for Brisbane to fall over. I'm just waiting for Brisbane to fall over. They just don't.
And the hardest to pick.
Yeah, and the hardest to pick.
Out of all those games that you mentioned, Richmond and Brisbane's probably the hardest to pick. To pick.
And GWS, and we've got the Bulldogs.
Can they do it again?
I know.
Because they thumped them a couple of weeks ago up there. They thumped them and gave them a real hiding.
They're running beautifully at the moment, the Bulldogs. They were 60 points up. They were 60 points up against the Crows, and probably took 3 or 4 players off just to rest them up. So
they're coming in great nick, aren't they?
They're coming in great nick.
They're coming in yourself. Going into finals. If you're on a roll, that's
it's fantastic.
Where you need to be. And that's where they are.
Yeah, I know.
That's where the Bullies are.
And they're saying that as well. Some of the players back of 2 or 3 years ago are saying it's the same sort of feel as we had, a few years back when we beat the Swans, wasn't it?
And it looks that way.
So we spoke briefly before the SNFL. What a great success it was last weekend. A couple of cracking games. We got Port Glenelg. So that's it's just gloves off. I love Port Glenelg finals. I love them.
Yeah, so do I.
I love them.
So do I.
15,000, I reckon they'll get there for that one. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
They come out of the woodwork.
They've come from nowhere.
Yeah.
Glenelg, they've been down the bottom their last few years.
They won 5 or 6 out of the last 7 or 8 last year, so they ran home beautifully.
Yeah, they did.
After a dreadful start last year, and finished top, which was great, and nice to see him up there, but only just hovering around there. And then, of course, the Magpies.
Well, last time out,
take the bickies.
they touched Ports up at Alberton. Marlon Motlop went berserk in that match. I'm sure they'll be looking after Marlon. Here's one for you. Marlon Motlop works at Port Adelaide.
Is that right?
Yes, he works in our Aboriginal development
brilliant.
team.
Yeah.
And he is sitting in his little alcove there, totally surrounded by black and white streamers and Guernseys and for the build up for the game.
Oh, isn't that
and
funny?
he walked up. Yeah, I saw him yesterday, Marlon, and I said to him, "Good luck, Marlon, on the weekend."
Yeah.
And he said, "Thank you, Barry." And I said, "In the raffle."
In the
But he is sitting right in the middle of all this for the week.
Yeah.
You know, so but he really hurt Port.
And of course we've got the Crows Nord as well.
That's
I'm
another
worried
good
about Nord. Nord were very good last week. When they had to step up, when the pressure was put on, they had another gear.
They did.
That worries me. That worries me because they're a strong side.
Nord was the way in which Sturt came back at them. That was my only issue. That Nord looked tired to me.
Yeah, but then they kicked again, you know.
Yeah, they just looked tired.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they've lost a couple too, Nord.
Yeah.
Not this week, but I think the week before, a couple of good players. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
That's a tough game. My criticism here, and it is a bit of a criticism, is Adelaide keen?
Well,
On their SNFL.
you have to be. You have to because your future's on the spot.
But when
There's no
you,
question there.
When you hear a ruckman like Sam Jacobs, all right, Sam, the weekend, no, I'm not playing.
Well, you've probably got a few that might be looking, elsewhere, and his name's been tendered around at different clubs that he might go back to Victoria or whatever the case may be. That there's going to be those isolated incidents, and that probably happens forever, But you're still, looking at the core group have to perform to get themselves, ready for, for their name in the spotlight for next year at the AFL level.
Yeah.
That is the key, and I think that that they want to win.
Okay.
They want to win. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Hey, there's an SNFL grand final on the line. You run around with that trophy, no better day. No better day.
I'm not sure I agree with it, but
Okay.
I'm just their attitude sometimes to me is a bit worrying.
We've got lots of finals all around Adelaide, and women, girls, young fellas, men competition, and so whatever sport you're playing in, and you're playing in the finals, all the very, very best. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've had an absolute ball, Barry. Fantastic, great guest, and you know what? I will see you next week.